Okay, right. Like I said, the jack is at the rear, just goes in the back here, okay, and the 9-volt battery compartment is right next to it. You've got the active electronics in here, and down here you've got some of the wiring that runs down and goes into the bridge, or beneath the bridge. Now the only downside, just quickly, on the design on this thing, is that the pin actually goes into the same compartment as the wiring. Now I don't really like that, because if you was gigging quite often, you take it, you're pulling that pin out, pushing it in, pulling it out night after night. The wires may end up working loose because they're only held in place by what's like insulation tape. Now, if that adhesive over the years if the tape loses its adhesiveness, is that a word? Yeah, it is. Those wires, because quite easily pop out, get caught with the pin, you're pulling that out, yanks all the wiring out. So what I did was I got a bit of, I think it was 1/2 inch piping, just from any plumbing outlet. I measured it exactly to fit in the centre of this section here, and that pin now runs in the middle of the piping, so it doesn't matter if any wiring was to come out or anything, it would never come into contact with the pin. So I'm quite pleased with that. It's something that always concerned me, that things that are held in place by sticky tape or anything, they tend to work their way loose eventually. Right, well that's that. Enough of the talking, the sound. Yeah, okay, sounds quite decent. These are stock strings, never been changed. I think they're quite decent. I know you can get better, so as far as I'm concerned, considering that they're stock strings, how well it sounds. If I had my old amp, I used to have a far better amp. This amp is terrible, it sucks. Got it from Gear for Music a while ago. Gear for Music, I've always had great service from them, but I wouldn't recommend buying one of these amps. They're dreadful. That's another story, so let's move on. Okay, let's just try and play something simple that I can play. A bit of a 12-bar blues. So here we go. So there you go. I say, forgive me for all the rattling and that thing, but yeah, I actually think that this bass is very good for the money. If you normally spend roughly, say, about 300, to 400 pounds, if you was to buy a big double bass, which I did at one point. Again, it was a Gear for Music bass, double bass. I was warned prior, don't buy them. They're just bits of wood stuck together. But I thought, well, I'll have a go. Dreadful. Do not buy a Gear for Music double bass. They are dreadful, unless they start making them better, but they're dreadful. Well, this thing costs about the same as theirs. This is about 400, 500 pounds. This is roughly about the same price. And this thing sounds that much better, and you can play it. The Gear for Music one, you can't play. Normally, well, I was told as well by a lot of people who know what they're talking about with double basses, they were saying you'll never be able to play it, and in order to get it playable, you're still going to end up spending probably the better part of about £1,000 just to get it to a standard where you can play it. well, again, if you do your maths right, you're looking at £1,400 to £1,500. So this is a better bet, bet. You're never going to take this and play it in a classical environment. So for what it is, it's great for blues, it's great for jazz, and it looks cool. It looks really cool. I think it's beautiful. But anyway, just to give you a bit more of a sound thing, I'll play the same thing, just turning the tone knob slightly. It does knock the volume up a bit the more you add more bass and so on. But I'll roll a bit more of it off. I'll take it off so you can hear it. So here you go without any tone on there. That's with no tone. Oh, by the way, I should have really tuned it up. Sadly, I've got a bit of a bad habit of not doing that, so forgive me if it's slightly out. But anyway, we'll put a bit of bass on there. I'll leave the volume where it is because it's loud enough going through this, I think. So, a bit more bass. Hopefully you'll hear a bit of a difference. I don't know how good the mic is on the camera, so sorry about that as well. So here we go. So that's a bit more bass on there. I'll knock her up a bit more again. Now the amp is going to probably start rattling here. Doesn't like too much bass being put through it, considering it's a bass amp. But here we go. So, as I say, and that wasn't even full up. If you can hear the difference, hopefully you can. Yeah, that wasn't even full on. But, within this room you can hear a big difference, regardless whether the mic picks it up or not. But saying that, it's a great bit of equipment. I think it's well worth the money. It's probably the cheapest and the best for money you can get, I think, in my personal opinion. I've looked at a few. And really the ones in this range that I have seen, well, they normally cost a bit more, and I didn't think that they had much of an upright bass sound. To me they sounded more like just your typical fretless electric bass. This one actually does seem to mimic, at least closer than any other ones I've seen, an upright bass. Yeah, I think it's great. Sorry. Yeah, bowing wise, hold on a moment, just give me a few seconds. I'm going to just see about getting a bow. This is that bit where I say I lay it on its side and it sits lovely. I won't take the camera off to show you, but it's great. Hold on. 2 seconds, I'm coming. Right. Now, I've got no idea how to use these. I ain't got no idea how to play it, but I just tinker. So I'm just one of those people that I'll hear something and I'll just try and play it by ear and so on. That's how I'm a tinkerer, sorry. Right, so this is bowing. Sadly I haven't got hardly any rosin on here, so hopefully it'll work okay. But here we go. But you can bow. I would say that the bridge needs to be a little bit more arched to help with the bowing action, so you're not catching any of the strings. I suppose an experienced double upright bass player with a bow would know how to handle that without catching the strings, etc. But I think it could do with a bit more curvature on it. But other than that, it does work still. It does work. I'm sure that if I was to practice and practice and practice, I'd get there and stop catching the strings and so on. But it's a great bass. I do like it. I love the slides on it. So yeah, it's very nice. It's, considering, you know, I find the neck very thick, it's fairly easy to play as such when you get used to it. Yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say on it. I would say if you're an experienced bassist, give it a shot. If anyone has ever thought, I'd like to give an upright bass a try, and they don't want to spend too much money, this is perfect, I think. You know, depending what, you know, kind of band you're going to be playing in or you want to aim for, I would say any kind of jazz band, blues band, you're going to look great at the side of guitarists and pianists and drummers and so on playing this. You're gonna look the part. It's still going to look cool. People are going to think, what is that? When people walk into the house and they see it on its stand in the corner over there, they always quiz me and say, oh my gosh, what's that? That looks amazing. It's a beautiful ornament as well. An expensive ornament, but a workable expensive ornament which just looks gorgeous. And even if I stop playing bass altogether and stop my tinkering, I think I'll always keep this bass because it just looks amazing stood over there. It's like having a modern grand piano in your house, if you know what I mean. Probably not. Okay, but I want to thank you for listening. I hope I've given you a bit of an insight on it. I know I'm not very good, but forgive me on that. But I would just recommend that you give one of these a go, see what you think. I think you'd be surprised. Put it through a decent amp, which I haven't got. See what you think. I think you'd be quite impressed with it. Okay, thank you for letting me bend your ear. I just hope that, you know, it helps someone out there, whether you're a tinkerer like me, or if you're a serious guitar player. I hope it helps somebody out there. You guys take it steady. Thank you. Hold on. I want to bid you bye-bye. Thank you. Have a nice one.